Hi, it's time for Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news. Israeli apartheid is the subject being discussed widely around the world this week to raise awareness of the plight of the Palestinians. We asked Vazuda Desikan, a solidarity activist from Washington, D.C., to tell us in her own words what the organization has planned and what they hope to accomplish this week.
The purpose of Israeli Apartheid Week really is to highlight the apartheid practices of Israel, like the apartheid wall, or the fact that Palestinian citizens within Israel do not have full political and socio-economic participation in the life of the country. Israeli Apartheid Week began in Toronto in 2005 by an organization called the Coalition Against Israeli Apartheid, and it quickly spread over the years. So this is the fourth year that Israeli Apartheid Week is happening around the world in 27 cities, including Washington, D.C., Johannesburg, and Puebla, Mexico. 2008 is especially significant because it marks the 60 years of Israeli occupation of Palestine. We're aiming to have a lot of creative activities and a lot of academic activities going on simultaneously to engage different types of audiences, from young to old, in every race, religion, and creed. We have a panel discussion about apartheid from South Africa to Palestine. We're having an open mic night, bringing in artists from DC and also a lot of Arab artists and Muslim artists. And we're also having a puppet show for children, talking about how kids can discuss conflict and war and such situations with adults. So we want to get Americans especially engaged in that discussion, engaged in that dialogue, so that they can work to mobilize their communities to action to support Palestinians and support human rights through formal channels like lobbying their government, or through informal channels sort of similar to the events that we have planned for Israeli Apartheid Week.
Now, Kenya's feuding political parties may reach a breakthrough within days on the disputed election in December. Former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who's mediating between the opposing sides, dismissed speculation that the parties had reached a power-sharing agreement, but hopes to move on to resolving deeper underlying problems like land and wealth inequality this year. Umar in Nigeria thinks Kenya needs more than Annan's mediation efforts. Kibaki and Odinga have destroyed that country because of their political and selfish interests. A fresh election should be quickly conducted by the UN and AU. It would be ideal if an interim government is installed. Khalid in Italy writes about the long-term needs of the country. Without optimism, there will be no way out of the dark tunnels. Kenyans need to have a serious and patient dialogue between its diverse communities, as it's the only way to heal the scars of ethnic and political tensions. Muriel in Montreal is putting her faith in the former Secretary General to find a solution. Mr. Annan, having made a career in the United Nations for decades, I certainly would trust that he has the diplomatic know-how to deal with that crisis. But now on to Europe, where there's no need to get out of the car to refuel anymore. A new Dutch robot can do it for you. The Tank Pit Stop, as the developers call it, is a €75,000 invention that'll sense your car and fill her up. The inventors, who got the idea after creating a robotic milking system, say their automaton should help fight against global warming. As a variety of alternative fuel choices are developed, they think he'll be able to be more reliable than humans when it comes to pouring the right gas down the hatch. The inventors say their biggest challenge now is convincing consumers to let the robot do the pumping. That's it until next time. Do keep sending in your questions and comments and point us to anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. Remember, what you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera, and some of the content's been edited, but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the street.